For millions of television viewers, Married with Children was a groundbreaking sitcom that challenged conventions and redefined family comedy. Week after week, audiences tuned in to watch the dysfunctional Bundy family navigate life through sarcasm, outrageous humor, and unforgettable one-liners. Yet behind the scenes, a very different story was unfolding, one built not on comedy, but on loyalty, mentorship, and genuine affection. At the center of that story were Christina Applegate and Ed O'Neill. While viewers knew them as Kelly and Al Bundy, their real-life relationship grew into something far deeper than a typical co-star friendship. Over the years, Applegate has spoken openly about the profound impact O'Neill had on her life, describing a bond that began when she was a teenager and has endured for nearly 4 decades. Their story is not one of scandal or controversy. Instead, it is a rare Hollywood tale about mentorship, family, and standing by one another through life's greatest challenges. When Married with Children premiered in 1987, Christina Applegate was only 15 years old. She had landed the role of Kelly Bundy, the attractive but often dim-witted daughter of the Bundy family. The character quickly became one of the show's biggest attractions, but the attention that came with the role was significant. The series was unlike anything else on television at the time. It pushed boundaries, challenged traditional sitcom formulas, and frequently generated controversy. As one of the youngest members of the cast, Applegate suddenly found herself navigating an adult entertainment industry while growing up in front of millions of viewers. That transition could have been overwhelming. Fortunately, she found an ally in Ed O'Neill. O'Neill, who portrayed Al Bundy, was already a mature adult with years of life experience. He understood the pressures of Hollywood and recognized the challenges that young performers often faced. From the earliest days of production, he took an active interest in ensuring that Applegate felt supported and protected. Over time, the relationship evolved beyond that of co-workers. O'Neill became a mentor, confidant, and father figure to the young actress. According to stories shared by Applegate and others connected to the show, O'Neill consistently looked out for her during production. The environment of a television set can be intense, particularly for young performers. Long shooting schedules, media attention, and adult conversations can create difficult situations for teenagers. O'Neill frequently stepped in to make sure Applegate felt comfortable and respected. Crew members reportedly noticed how attentive he was. Between scenes, he would check in on her, offer advice, and ensure she was handling the pressures of fame. If conversations became inappropriate or uncomfortable, he often redirected them. These actions were never part of his job description. He simply believed that looking after a younger colleague was the right thing to do. For Applegate, those gestures left a lasting impression. The years she spent on Married with Children coincided with some of the most formative years of her life. She entered the show as a teenager and left as an adult woman. During that time, O'Neill provided consistency and guidance in an industry known for unpredictability. Their relationship became one of mutual trust and respect, laying the foundation for a friendship that would continue long after the show ended. Television productions that last for more than a decade become modern workplaces. Cast and crew members spend countless hours together, often seeing each other more frequently than their own families. For Applegate, the set of Married with Children became a second home. She celebrated birthdays there, experienced career milestones there, and matured under the watchful eyes of colleagues who genuinely cared about her. O'Neill played a major role in that environment. As the years passed, the dynamic between them gradually changed. Initially, Applegate was a teenager learning from a veteran performer. Eventually, she became a skilled actress in her own right. O'Neill encouraged that growth. Rather than treating her as a child indefinitely, he respected her increasing confidence and talent. By the later seasons of the series, Applegate was contributing creatively, developing stronger instincts as a performer, and earning recognition throughout the industry. Watching that transformation became one of O'Neill's greatest sources of pride. One of the most dramatic chapters in the show's history occurred in 1989. A Michigan activist named Terry Ricalta launched a campaign against Married with Children after objecting to its content. She contacted advertisers, organized public criticism, and urged sponsors to withdraw support from the series. The campaign quickly gained national attention. Major advertisers began pulling their commercials from the show, creating serious concerns about its future. Network executives worried that the controversy could lead to cancellation. For the cast, the uncertainty was frightening. Applegate was only 17 years old and still early in her career. The possibility of losing the show felt devastating. Many cast members wondered whether years of hard work were about to disappear. During this period, O'Neill emerged as a stabilizing force. Rather than allowing fear to dominate the atmosphere, he reassured younger cast members that they had already achieved something meaningful. Regardless of the outcome, he reminded them that they had created a television series people cared enough about to debate passionately. His calm leadership helped maintain morale at a time when anxiety was running high. Ironically, the boycott ultimately had the opposite effect of what its organizers intended. Public curiosity increased, ratings rose, and the controversy generated enormous publicity for the show. Instead of destroying Married with Children, the campaign helped make it even more popular. For Applegate, however, the most memorable aspect of that period was not the ratings success. It was O'Neill's unwavering support. The controversy strengthened the cast's bond. Facing external criticism together created a sense of unity that extended beyond professional relationships. The actors learned they could rely on one another during difficult moments. That feeling became increasingly important as the years passed. By the time the series approached its final seasons, the cast had spent more than a decade together. They had experienced career highs and lows, personal milestones, and countless hours of collaboration. What viewers saw on screen reflected genuine chemistry. The Bundys may have spent much of their fictional lives insulting each other, but the actors behind those characters had developed authentic affection. That connection helped sustain the series through 11 successful seasons. When Married with Children ended in 1997, the conclusion was unexpectedly abrupt. There was no grand farewell episode and no elaborate celebration marking the end of an era. Production simply stopped. For many involved, the experience felt incomplete. After 11 years together, the cast suddenly found themselves moving in different directions. The routines that had defined their lives disappeared almost overnight. Applegate later reflected on how strange the transition felt. One day she was surrounded by colleagues who had become family. The next day, the sets were gone, and everyone was pursuing separate projects. Yet one relationship remained intact. Even after the show ended, Applegate and O'Neill stayed in touch. They spoke regularly, shared meals, exchanged advice, and continued supporting one another. The father-daughter dynamic that had developed during production never truly disappeared. Both actors went on to achieve remarkable success following the series. Applegate built an impressive career in both television and film. She earned acclaim for projects such as The Sweetest Thing, Anchorman, Samantha Who, and Dead to Me. Her performances demonstrated a range and depth that extended far beyond the comedic stereotypes associated with Kelly Bundy. O'Neill experienced a career resurgence through Modern Family, one of the most successful sitcoms of the modern era. His portrayal of Jay Pritchett introduced him to a new generation of viewers and earned widespread critical praise. Despite their individual achievements, they never lost touch. O'Neill frequently expressed admiration for Applegate's accomplishments, while Applegate continued speaking about the influence he had on her life. Their connection remained one of the most enduring relationships to emerge from the series. In August 2021, Applegate shared devastating news. She revealed that she had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, a chronic neurological disease that affects the central nervous system. The diagnosis came while she was filming the final season of Dead to Me. MS can impact mobility, balance, coordination, vision, and cognitive function. Although treatments can help manage symptoms, there is currently no cure. The diagnosis forced Applegate to adapt to a new reality. She began using mobility aids, including a cane, and openly discussed the physical and emotional challenges associated with the condition. Beyond the medical symptoms, she also spoke candidly about grief, the grief of losing aspects of the life she once knew and the uncertainty surrounding the future. Her honesty resonated with countless people facing similar struggles. Rather than hiding from public attention, Applegate chose transparency. She used her platform to educate others about MS and provide support for those experiencing chronic illness. When O'Neill learned about Applegate's diagnosis, he responded as he always had, with compassion and concern. While many details remain private, Applegate has indicated that his support meant a great deal to her during an incredibly difficult period. He was no longer protecting a teenage actress from industry pressures. Instead, he was supporting a lifelong friend confronting a serious health challenge. Other members of the Married, with Children cast also rallied around her. Katie Sagal, David Faustino, and Amanda Bess publicly expressed their love and encouragement. Yet Applegate often highlighted how meaningful it was to have people from her past who truly understood her journey. The friendships formed decades earlier continued to provide comfort and strength. In November 2022, Applegate made one of her first major public appearances following her diagnosis. She was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Attending the ceremony required significant effort. Living with MS presents daily challenges, and public appearances can be physically exhausting. Nevertheless, Applegate chose to participate. Using a cane and visibly emotional, she accepted the honor surrounded by friends, family, and supporters. The event became a powerful reminder of her resilience. Throughout her speech, she reflected on her career, her struggles, and the people who had supported her along the way. The ceremony celebrated not only her professional achievements but also her courage.